Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Russell. Let me turn that down. It's a little loud. Unlimited. As it is what's the date today? 24th of August, 2025. And tonight, depending on where you live, was AEW Cross NJPW Forbidden Door. I did that a little way more aggressive than I expected to. Boom, that hurt my wrist. Anyways, Forbidden Door. I thought it had a lot of good wrestling, but it wasn't that great of a show. Well, be completely honest. If I'm voting with you guys in the thing, I liked it. It was just all right. Didn't like it. Wouldn't say I didn't like the show because I thought it flowed very well. It didn't feel as long as a normal AEW show, and maybe because it was so early in the day and I'm not getting tired because it's almost midnight. But I thought it was just all right. The show had some shit at the end. Like, I'll just say that. Like, running down the thing. Cope and Christian get the win. Cool. Whatever. Fun way to open up the show. I thought, all things considered, not a bad match. Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi, never got into it because I never at one point thought, oh my god, Hiromu could win this. Same thing with Mercedes. Like, they had some cool four-way spots and here and there little things in the match, but it's like, yeah, Mercedes ain't dropping this belt. Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel ain't winning. Rodito winning that match. Okay, I was interested in that one because I'm like, how are they going to get through this match? Either Hurt Syndicate wins, or there's some schmaz to get them to not get pinned or whatever. And there was a schmaz that was dumber than dumb, stupid as fuck. Then we move into Okada and Swerve, which is a really good match. That was probably, in my opinion, just from a match standpoint, the best thing we had. Okada and Swerve. And then we had Wardlow returning after that to Don't Get Me Started, just be someone's lackey. Just be the muscle for the Don Callis family. Like, we've seen how well that's done for goddamn Josh Alexander. Just saying. Looking more here. Tony Storm and Athena. That match was fine. I thought they worked well together. Nothing wrong there. Like, Billy Starks tried to get involved, so Mina ran down and ran her off. Cool, whatever. That match was fine, good. Maybe even better than fine. Good. Hangman and MJF. About halfway through that match, I gave up. I gave up about halfway. When MJF grabbed the timekeeper's table, I went, I'm done. Fuck this show. Fuck this match. And then the main event. Main event was exactly what it was supposed to be. I don't think it could have been any better. I don't think it could have been any worse. I think that for a lights out 10-man cage match that was technically kind of at little thought, not little thought, but at one point thinking it kind of death match-ish, not real. I don't know. That spot with the ear and the fork with Moxley and Darby, I literally at one point had to go look away. I had to look away. Like, I thought he was going to literally pierce Darby's ear with the fork. And if he did, if he didn't, still, but overall, I thought the show was just all right. I didn't think it was anything super special. Like, if you missed it, you missed it. I wouldn't say you had to go out of your way and watch something because, oh my God. You know what I mean? Not comparing it to WWE, but it's like, you go watch SummerSlam night 2 and you go, holy shit, you need to watch the end of this show because Brock Lesnar returned. This show had none of that. And they had an injury angle for a guy that didn't need an injury angle because he's telling everybody I'm going to have neck surgery. Commentary is literally throughout the match and afterwards and before going, well, Will Ospreay's probably taking time off. Will Ospreay's probably going to need to get that neck fixed. So we don't know what's next for a while. Like, they're legitimately telling us on commentary that Ospreay is taking time off, that Ospreay is going to go most likely get neck surgery after this match. And then they got to do a injury angle where we think they just ended his career. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Eagle says I'm missing 2 matches. I didn't watch the pre-show, Eagle. So if you're talking about the pre-show, I didn't watch the pre-show. But I had all 9 matches. Cope and Christian, TNT title, TBS title, IWGP title, tag titles, unified title, women's title, men's title, baby faces win the cage match. I didn't miss anything. Again, if you talk about the pre-show, I didn't watch the pre-show. The show started earlier than I remembered. I turned it on and I go, oh shit. Pre-show's on. Like, what are we doing here? And so I had other things to do before the actual show started. But regardless, yeah. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? I just There was something about I know what it is. I know what I'm thinking. Show was over fucking booked. Stuff was overbooked. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's the word I'm looking for. It was overbooked, especially the Hangman MJF match. Because, and I'll get into it here, but I'll just rant a little bit right now. So there's a spot where Hangman's got a chair, and Bryce Remsburg really goes, "Don't do it, Hangman. You shouldn't do it." Not Bryce Remsburg. Is that Bryce Remsburg? Yes, Bryce Remsburg. Anyways, he's telling him, "Don't do it, or I'm gonna have to disqualify you, and you know what can happen. Don't do it. Don't do it, Hangman." And Hangman's like, "Better of it. Okay, I won't." So what's the difference of swinging and hitting MJF with a chair or putting him through a fucking table? It's because that table didn't come from under the ring. The table's already set up at ringside. No, they moved the table. It would have been different if it was the announce table, or they didn't move the table from where it was positioned previously. Okay, I can live with that one, because we all forgive the announce table. Putting someone through the announce table is not a DQ. So if they didn't move the timekeeper's table, then I can live with that one, just like I live with the announce table thing. But for them to take the table, move the table, stick it on the literal opposite side of the ring, Hangman then to take the table, move it, position it, and then dead eye through the table and it not be a disqualification. How is that not a disqualification? That makes absolutely no sense. So literally every single damn AEW match, someone should go through a table, because it's not a DQ. You can't get DQ'd for putting someone through a table. We learned that here tonight in this match, in a match that if there was a DQ on Hangman, he loses his belt. Yet this fucker dead-eyed MJF through the table, yet didn't lose his belt because Bryce didn't call it a DQ, even though it is blatantly a GDDQ. Am I wrong? As CM Punk would say, tell me when I'm telling lies. But anyways. As far as the show does go, like I said, I would vote in the middle with you guys if I was voting in the poll. I really would vote in the middle. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here. Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know we go live. That way you know we post the community tab. And that way you know when we post new videos. Also, remember, if you want to support us in another way, you can do so by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get access to news, not access to news. We don't do news over there anymore. Access to our watch-along recap video deals that we do over there sometimes, our graphics packages, our graphics tutorials, and so much more. Plus, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air on YouTube, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting the Power Ranger skins in Fortnite because they're only there for a couple of more days. What's today? The 24th? 5 more days. They go away on the 29th, ladies and gentlemen. So go and get the Power Rangers if you haven't got them yet. I'm still kind of on the fence because I'm like, we're getting the Green Ranger, we're getting the White Ranger in the Battle Pass, but I really want the red and blue too. So it's like, do I do it? Do I not? What do I do? I don't know. I'm still on the fence on it. But if you are going to get the Power Rangers, when you go to the shop in Fortnite, it's going to ask you at the bottom if you have a creator code, and you do. It's PWU NLIMITED. You can use that whether it's on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your phone, your tablet, your computer, your Amazon Fire Stick, anywhere that you can play Fortnite. But as far as this show does go, like I stated, I did not watch the pre-show. We do have a couple bit donations here from Esports Gaming Rules, so let's get into that before anything. Here he says, I am deeply about the future of partnership between AEW and NJPW, and also worried about the future of Ospreay's career. Also, did you see what happened with Rampage Jackson's son at Knox Pro? Yes. And I haven't commented because I don't know the whole story. I was going to make a video about it later after I read everything because I've seen a couple of different things, because now TMZ is reporting that the LAPD is involved. So for anybody that didn't see, I don't know all the names and everybody involved, but Rikishi's school, Knox Pro, held a show in the greater Los Angeles area, and they had Quentin Rampage Jackson's, his son there, you know, former UFC fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson. His son was there. And there was like, it looked to be an angle where he was supposed to jump in the ring, slam somebody, and give him some punches. But the kid didn't know how to work the punches, and through real stiff shots, knocked this guy out hard and had to be pulled from the ring. Like, to the point where Knox Pro sent out a statement saying, our thoughts and prayers are with the guy. And I deeply apologize for not knowing the guy's name. Again, like I said, I woke up this morning, went right into Forbidden Door mode, and haven't really checked much of anything, so I didn't fully read everything and get the guy's name. Anyways, but then right before we go live here, someone sends me a TMZ article that says, well, Rampage reacted to this on a Sneakio, I think is what his name is, live stream last night or earlier today. I don't know exactly when the live stream was. And the LAPD are now involved investigating it as like an assault charge or something. So again, I haven't read everything, so that's why I haven't reported on it or made a video or any kind of post, because I don't want to. This sounds very serious, and it's something I don't want to just put out there to get some clicks and views without having all the information and falsely or disrespectfully say something. So that's why I haven't said anything. That's all. I'm going to keep it vague like that, because I don't know. As far as you being concerned with the AEW New Japan partnership, why? Why would you be concerned about the partnership? For what reason? I don't understand that question. Or comment, I mean. And he also says, I don't know what the future holds with the partnership with AEW New Japan and Stardom after Takahashi won G1 35 and half the crowd in the G1 final was cheering for Evil. Well, if you're trying to say that they put over an AEW wrestler in the G1, you're only half right, because they also put over a New Japan wrestler, because most people don't realize that freaking Takeshita, and I read that wrong. I said Takahashi. Anyways, I read that wrong. Takeshita has both an AEW and a New Japan contract. He's signed to both companies. He's literally signed to both. So yes, they put over a guy signed to AEW. They also put over a guy signed to their own company, one of their own. So Takeshita is a actual New Japan wrestler. He's signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I don't know what the problem is. Takeshita's probably, and him working AEW so much helps, the biggest name they got. He looks like $1 million. He presents himself like a top star in any wrestling company. And he's fan-freaking-tastic in the ring. We don't really hear him cut promos because, well, he's in AEW letting Don do that for the English-speaking crowds. And I don't watch enough New Japan to see if he's cutting promos there, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't see any problem with any of the relationship between, like the Stardom one, yeah, they sent Bozilla to work tonight. Like, she's part of the Stardom partnership. It's whatever. But them in New Japan, like, I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I don't see any issues or reason to be worried about that at all. Also, Wolverine is the exclusive cut from Deadpool and Wolverine. Went and saw it in theaters. So yeah, I don't understand why, you know, you'd be concerned about the partnership going forward. So as we kick off this, talk about the opening match of the show. It was Cope and Christian taking on Killswitch and Kip Sabian. And the only thing I saw people tweeting about was Mother Wayne. Oh my God, look at Mother Wayne. Mother Wayne's knockers are popping. It's like literally what I saw people tweeting about, other than anything that happened in this match, which, oof, that ain't good for the match. When it's all about how hot that MILF looked. Okay, well, you don't care about anything else in this match. At least Twitter didn't. And I thought the match was actually a pretty good way to open up the show. You get the crowd going, you get them all happy early on, and away we go. So Copeland said on social media the other day that he's soaking this all in. You could tell that he was really enjoying the crowd in the O2. Also, the one thing I did see, sorry to backtrack a little bit, one thing I did see from the pre-show was Tony Khan brought out Martha Hart and Oj to announce that this is the biggest wrestling crowd ever in the O2. Now, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what the hell's going to happen, right? I don't know when the next time is. But the next time WWE's in the O2 arena, you know they're going to get, even if they can get 8 more people in this building, they're going to get that 19,000 number just to beat AEW's record. And then Triple H is going to go out there and go, it's the biggest crowd ever in the O2. You know he's going to do it. You know he's going to fucking do it. You know it's going to happen. Hell, they're going to bring John Cena or The Undertaker back just to make that announcement. Dwayne is going to show up. You know, WWE loves to be here in London. We love the O2, and you guys showed out for us with the biggest crowd ever in this building because they only need 19,000 to beat the record that AEW set tonight. AEW had 18,992 people in attendance for this show. And I think AEW counted legit fans in seats. WWE's going to count however many people they got backstage and sitting ringside. You know, commentary is going to count for 2 or 3 people. But yeah, you know it's going to happen. WWE is going to do their damnedest, put the smallest minimalistic stage they can to fit as many people in that building possible next time they go to the O2 to try and outdo AEW. You know it's coming. You know it's going to happen. But as far as this match does go, Bryan Danielson joined Excalibur and Tony Schiavone on commentary. This is probably the best thing of the show. It's probably the best thing of the show, that Danielson on commentary. Danielson on commentary was phenomenal. Fantastic. And when he excused himself from the main event because it's too personal for him, I'm like, oh, fuck, this guy's getting involved. He's coming out later. And he didn't. Kudos. They didn't overbook that part. Because I literally was like, oh, Brian's not on commentary so that we don't sit there and think the whole time, when's he coming out, when's he coming out. We're going to forget about him. Or when's he going to get involved, when's he going to get involved. And then we're going to forget about him. He's going to come out later. He didn't. He didn't come out later, get involved or nothing. So kudos. Especially after seeing him get involved at All In. I was like, oh, yeah, he's getting involved here tonight. But he didn't. He didn't. I thought, like, when they did the spot with Darby coming off the top of the cage and him and, was it Gabe Kidd went through the tables at ringside and Moxley standing there with Marina. I thought Brian's coming right there. Nope, I was wrong. Anyways, Fonzie says, did you even check WrestleTix? Why do I need to check WrestleTix for? Literally, that's what AEW themselves announced. And they're not going to announce we have the largest crowd in this building if it's not legit the largest crowd ever for a wrestling show in that building. I don't think the O2 is going to let them actually announce that. And I think by now it would have been debunked if it wasn't true. It's true. I don't know why I need to check WrestleTix. Last I saw on WrestleTix for this show was like, I think it was 18.7. But that was like a day or 2 ago. So, where was I? My notes just froze. There we go. There was a misdirect spot early on with Copeland as he flattened Chris Sabian. Or Chris Sabin. I don't know why. I read it. I say it how it's written. It's written Sabian. But for some reason, my brain just says Sabian. It's Sabin. Why do you need the extra I? Chris Sabin. Anyways, Cope flattens Sabin with a lariat before tagging Cage in for some early double team moves. There's corner punches and punches from Cage to Sabin, who scurried to tag Killswitch. There was a loud Luchasaurus chants as Cage refused to fight him, tagging Copeland again. Massive thrust kick caught Copeland flush in the jaw. Copeland was able to respond with a low bridge and a baseball slide into the barricade. Later on in the match, Sabin was tagged in, and they're all fighting and everything, and him and Christian are in there, and all of a sudden, I noticed blood on Christian's arm, and I said, where the hell's this blood coming from? And then I see Chris Sabin come out of the other corner, and I'm like, oh, he's bleeding. When did Chris Sabin start bleeding? It's like right around the eye. So I don't know what happened here. I must have missed something, maybe. I don't know. But Killswitch then screamed at Kip to tag him. So Killswitch hit an overhead chop and chucked him into the ring. Cage wanted to tag. Shane Wayne pulled him from the apron, screaming that he's going to get what he deserves. Sabin then snapped Christian's neck on the top rope, or Cage's neck on the, Christian's neck on the top rope. as Copeland was able to fight off Killswitch and Sabian in the corner and hit a matriarchy doomsday device as they hit one on him. Copeland finally did tag in Cage, who threw punches at Killswitch this time after not wanting to fight him earlier, only to run into a big old headbutt. There's a powerbomb out of the corner by Copeland at one point, and a top rope headbutt from Cage, but Killswitch kicked out and won. Sabian made the blind tag as Copeland and Cage hit a double impaler DDT on Killswitch before the referee couldn't make the count. Sabian tried an attack, but Cage flattened him with a neck breaker. Killswitch had Cage in his clutches from the apron, but Copeland charged in with a spear. Cage then tried a spear on Sabian, who hit a pump knee, tried to Killswitch, but was to no avail. Then there was a pop-up spear that looked super dope as shit, and Copeland got the win. Well, from Copeland, and then Cage got the pin to get the win. So it looked like, like you do that Manhattan drop move where you pick the guy up and you drop balls on your knee. Well, that's kind of what this move looked like. Like Christian had picked him up like he was going to go for the Manhattan drop deal, or maybe like a back flatliner. That's probably one more, like a back flapjack, And he had him up, and he's coming back, and then like kind of down. Cope comes out of nowhere, boom, spear, 1, 2, 3. Cool little finishing maneuver there that we've never seen before. I've never seen that sequence before. So kudos on them. Cope and Christian get the win, and away we go. Also, there was no downtime on this show. There was no, hey, you need to know why this match is happening. Hey, you need to know why this guy's the number one contender, why this girl's got a shot at the belt. None of that. It was just match is over, boom, next match. Match is over, boom, next match. Match is over, boom, next match. And you can criticize that, and I know we criticize WWE as well for having too much downtime. I think we need to find a fucking happy medium. I think we need to find a good happy medium, because this one was like just boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Granted, the show did not feel long because of it, but at the same time, like once one match is ending, I feel like, oh crap, crud, I missed something. Nope, never mind. So we went to our first title match. And I think this was the first title match on the main card. Was there a trios title match on the pre-show? I wanted to talk about that really fast, actually. So the big thing in AEW is title matches are 60 minutes, right? Title matches go 60 minutes. They have a 60-minute time limit. That's why the Moxley Hangman title match had to start at the top of the second hour, because in case it needed to go the full 60 minutes, it had the time. Well, if that's the case, then why did the trios match start with less than or right around 10 minutes left in the pre-show? If the trios match could go 60 minutes because it's a title match, essentially, are we supposed to think that it can bleed in to the main card? No one's that dumb. Just a thing, though. Also, I think I did see someone in the live chat mention about Heat Wave. So now that I'm not watching Heat Wave and NXT or AEW at the same time, because I literally thought these shows were on at the same time, Heatwave will be the main topic for the wrap-up tomorrow. We're going to review Heatwave tomorrow morning or afternoon, depending on where you live, on the wrestling wrap-up. So that is tomorrow's main topic. The Heatwave review will be over there. No Heatwave review tonight, because I'm not going to be able to watch it till late. Well, not be able to, but I'm gonna give myself a little buffer between this show and that show. Just saying. Anywho, Shivani leaves commentary, and we get Walker Stewart, and I go, oh my, yes. One of the best today. Walker Stewart might be one of, if not my favorite commentator today. If you don't know Walker Stewart, he's the lead play-by-play guy for New Japan Pro Wrestling. This guy sounds like he's been doing this for decades, and he's only like 23 years old. No, maybe younger than that. Like, this man just sounds wiser than wise. He does a great job with learning backstories and history and knowing everything, especially when you watch the New Japan show. And yeah, like, we've had great commentary teams for New Japan in the past. We had like Steve Carino, and I fucking can't think of his name all of a sudden. He worked for AEW briefly. Fuck me. Kevin Kelly. Great commentary team together. They worked New Japan, they worked ROH, they were great together. And, you know, I'm like, oh, these guys are great. These guys are a perfect team for New Japan to be representatives here in the U.S. on commentary. But then we got Walker Stewart. And I'm just like, wow, this guy's done his job well. And he's done his work and research and homework. Because, like, this guy goes in there and something happens and he's like, oh, well, that's because this is... I'm like, holy shit. And this guy's young. So he's out there going back and refreshing himself and learning and knowing things. So kudos. We had Walker Stewart on here for a couple of matches tonight. And I'm like, fuck. If this commentary team was just Excalibur, him, and Danielson, I was like, let it be all night. Nope, we had to rotate. We had to bring Dawn in a couple times. We had Shivani back, Jim Ross. Yeah. I don't know why we keep needing JR. Let JR just retire. I know he doesn't want to. He wants to work these shows. It's kind of his call if he does or not. Like, hey, I can make it. Can I do it? But I'm not a big fan. I'm trying to think of how to say this. I'm not a big fan of the rotating commentary team. Now, the only times I've liked this is when WWE used to do it and we had the hard brand split. And it was like, say it was back in the day, it was JR and Cole. No, JR and Jim Ross calling all the Raw matches on a pay-per-view, and Michael Cole and Taz calling all the SmackDown matches on the pay-per-view. Why do two different teams? Because Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are just ingrained in Raw. They know everything going on Raw. They're focused. They're there every week. Boom. So they know the stories. They know the backstories. They know everything. They know Michael Cole and Taz. They know everything for SmackDown. So they're the SmackDown team. Boom. I thought that was fine. But I don't know why we need the rotating. Oh, now this guy's out, this guy's in. This guy's out, this guy's out. Oh, Don, you got a guy in the match. We're going to put you in. Like, that's okay, I guess. MVP does it too when the Hurt Syndicate's in a match, which I don't think he did tonight. If he did, I wasn't paying enough attention then. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the rotating commentary team when you're not just like, well, this is the dedicated team for this. This is a dedicated team for this. We're switching back and forth for that. It's just like, oh, we're going to bring this guy in, and this guy in, this guy in. Whoever starts should go through the whole show. Anyways, just saying. But no, Walker Stewart was great on commentary. He's always phenomenal. Early on, Fletcher was able to avoid the speed from, it was Kyle Fletcher, I didn't even say it. Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT title against Hiromu Takahashi. And at no point in this match did I ever go, I wonder who could win. I wonder how this match is going to end. I was sitting here going, all right, when's Fletcher going to beat him? That was the one thing about this show. Other than the tag title match, this show was super predictable. Super predictable. Well, that and the main event. Because it's like, that could have really went either way. But the way they were hyping up, oh, is this Ospreay's final match? Yeah, the babyfaces had to win. Tanahashi getting the pin kind of shocked me, but we'll talk about that when we talk about that. Sorry, I'm getting off topic again. Tangenting out. Anyways, Fletcher avoided the speed from the former junior heavyweight champion, and he slowly picked them apart. Callis put over Fletcher's handsomeness, and Danielson said that he heard there was interest in Fletcher from Taylor Swift at one point. And like, no one comments for a second. Next cover goes, where'd you hear that, Brian? He goes, Dawn. I laughed so hard. He goes, from Dawn. He's like, yeah, he's so good looking. I heard there was interest from Taylor Swift in him. And like, you just hear nothing. And next cover finally goes, where'd you hear that from, Brian? I heard it from Dawn. Like, who the fuck? It's so good. The way he's nonchalantly, I heard it from Dawn. Got me. It popped me. Bryan Danielson is a treasure. That's why he's my favorite wrestler of all time. Because he can do anything in this business. Takahashi fought his way back into things with a snap Hurricane Rana and almost a reverse Rana from inside to the floor. Fletcher then fought out of a time bomb as both traded suplex attempts until Takahashi connected with a Snapdragon suplex. Both exchanged half and half suplexes until Fletcher hit a Michinoku driver into a double down, which Callis called the Protostar driver. No, it's a Michinoku driver. He doesn't do it any different than a normal Michinoku driver. So they're fighting in the corner. Takahashi wanted to go for his Cazadora, but Fletcher held on and powered into a snazzy spinning avalanche back suplex and a huge Liger bomb for a near fall, leaving Fletcher mad that Hiromu kicked out. They're going back and forth, just trading big moves here and there all over the place. And at one point, they were fighting in the ring. There was a lariat that turned Fletcher inside out. Both traded forearms. Fletcher wanted another Liger bomb, but Takahashi snapped into a destroyer for a 2. The dynamite plunger that connected for another near fall, as both traded tombstone attempts, with Fletcher being successful only for a 2 count though. The running corner boot to the neck, followed by a proper one, as Fletcher wanted a brainbuster, and Takahashi rolled through into a cradle for a 2. Fletcher then held on and rolled through into a sheer drop brainbuster and picked up the victory. 1, 2, 3. Kyle Fletcher, and still TNT champion. Yeah, too early for him to drop the belt. And like, that's the issue with Forbidden Door is, can anybody tell me, like, I'm legit asking because I can't remember if we've ever seen this, where a AEW guy dropped their AEW belt to New Japan, or a New Japan guy dropped their New Japan belt to an AEW guy at one of these Forbidden Door shows. Chat, has that ever happened? Please jog my memory if it has, because not that I can remember. Moving forward, we had a 4-way for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné defending against Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bozilla. That was fun. It was good. I would say one of the better experiences I had watching this show. One of the better matches. So this one did have a slight little pre-match video, kind of telling us who Persephone and Bozilla are. The video did a good job talking accomplishments of Persephone from CMLL and Bozilla from Stardom, stating that she is the daughter of German wrestler Ulf Hermann. And I'm like, never heard of him, but cool. Danielson then talked about her strong showing in the 5-star Grand Prix in Stardom. Meanwhile, King's Guard soldiers were coming out because Mercedes got a special entrance. Of course she did. They treated her like royalty, and she got the fanfare and all of that. Yeah, Kevin says, no clue. So, yeah, people can't remember, or I don't think it's ever happened. And that's why Forbidden Door is fun, but kind of just meh. Kevin, no, that's not even funny. Your favorite wrestler, Mercedes Moné, not even funny. Favorite female wrestler of all time? No, not even close. I would probably say my favorite female wrestler ever is Bayley. Because she is an all-around, overall great pro wrestler that can do anything. Bayley is phenomenal. Anywho, as far as the match does go, Bozilla showed off some of her strength early on by running Persephone and Windsor as running into Persephone, or over Persephone and Windsor, as Moné foolishly tried a schoolgirl on Bozilla. She couldn't move the big woman. She couldn't move the big girl. Bozilla then pressed Moné over her head and tossed her to the floor onto Persephone and Windsor. Bozilla then caught a crossbody from Persephone into a spinning slam. Windsor locked in a sleeper, but Bozilla still mowed down Moné and sandwiched all ladies in the corner until finally missing a splash, spilling to the outside. Persephone and Windsor no-sold whip attempts from Moné, leading to a flapjack for a 2. There's a snap Hurricane Rana from Persephone, but Windsor responded with a Japanese arm drag. Bozilla returned and squashed both with a double back suplex. Oh, I didn't say, Kevin says, I disagree, but that's your opinion. But for me, Io Sky, I never said Bayley's the best women's pro wrestler. I believe Io Sky, at least right now, is the best female pro wrestler bell to bell in the entire world. Now, the issue is that we're American fans. And when she cuts promos and all that stuff, it's like, okay, cool, she's an okay promo in English. But if she goes and cuts a Japanese promo, I can't judge that because I don't know what she's saying. And I just hear whenever, like Asuka, for instance, does the Japanese promo, it's more yelling than anything. And I don't know if that's a thing in Japan, the yelling, So it's like, no. I didn't say Bayley's the best. I say, in my opinion, Bayley's my favorite because I think she's an overall almost damn near perfect pro wrestler. But if I'm going to say who the best female pro wrestler bell to bell is, it's Io Sky for sure. Io may be one of the best bell to bell, male or female. So it's like, I'm not saying I think Bayley's the best. Bayley's just the one that's connected with me the most and my favorite. Not everyone's going to think Bryan Danielson is the greatest of all time. My opinion, he's one of the, if not the greatest of all time for me. Because I think he can do everything. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, like you said. But it's like, no, I'm not saying Bayley's the best for sure. But for me, she's one of. She's up there. Anywho. Moné looked terrified. She tried a sleeper on Bozilla as Persephone tried a monkey flip on Moné, who flew right into the clutches of Bozilla. At one point, back inside the ring, there was a series of pin attempts until Bozilla returned with a bear hug into an overhead throw on Persephone for a reset. Bozilla at one point lifted up Windsor with what Danielson described as a Vader-like punch as she stacked Windsor and Persephone and hit a moonsault for 2. She wanted a powerbomb on Monet, who spun out and got enough of an over-ambitious poison run, I guess you could say. Windsor was up and hit a fisherman's buster on Monet. Bozilla then mowed Windsor down with a suplex and a clothesline. Bozilla then kind of just stared at Persephone on the floor for a moment, which is kind of weird. Like she got confused and lost her spot, and then told her, get in the ring. So I don't know if maybe Persephone was out of spot or if Bozilla was confused. I don't know what happened here, but she literally like looked down at Persephone at ringside, was like, get in the ring. Like someone messed up. I don't know. She then turned her back to her and allowed Persephone to hit her with a running razor's edge. I'm like, what is going on here? Somebody messed up something. And I think it might have been Persephone forgot her spot. I don't know. Well, there's a sharpshooter that replied to Persephone by Windsor. Monet then ran in with a lung blower. Persephone tried the razor's edge again on Monet, who managed to counter into a cradle. Flash pin 1, 2, 3. Mercedes Monet gets the victory and retains the TBS championship. And then you get all the dumb people on Twitter. Creative control, creative control. She'll never lose because she has creative control. You guys don't know what creative control means. Creative control is something contractually put into your contract. That is something legally given to you. Nobody has that. Nobody has creative control written into their contracts. Do people, I don't want to say it like this, but I'm just going to say it like this, not respect Tony Khan and just do what they get to do what they want? Sure. We see that with the Hurt Syndicate. They don't want to lose. So Tony's like, okay, you don't want to be pinned. I get it. We'll figure out another way to have you guys, whatever, you know. So it's like having creative control and Tony not being a boss, I guess you could say for the most part, are two different things. Like, if someone would go to Triple H and go, so I see you're pitching that I lose to so and so. Yeah, that ain't gonna work for me, brother. You think Triple H is gonna go, okay, well then what do you want to do? I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Maybe Triple H would go, well, let's talk this over and see what we can work out. And then eventually, you know, it's gonna go whatever way the booker wants. Because if Triple H says, hey, no, it's time for you to drop your belt and so-and-so's got to be the champion, that's what I want. That's what's gonna happen. Is someone going to say, hey, I don't want to lose in this way. Let's try figure out a different finish. Triple H will work with you on that. But he's not going to be, take Rusev, the perfect example probably. He was over there in AEW, not on TV, much if not all, for the last 2 years he was with this company. Because Tony would give him, reportedly, I got to say, reportedly, would give him creative, and he would just go, I don't want to do it. Or that's not what I want to do. That doesn't work for me, kind of thing. That's what was reportedly said. Now he's back in WWE and he's losing to Sheamus and doing everything they're asking. So, yeah. There's a big difference there. But yeah, Mercedes retains the title. Shocker. And not shocker because she never wants to lose. It's I don't see the right time yet for Tony to take the title off, for Tony Khan to say, hey, it's time for you to lose the TBS title. The way she's being booked, I don't see it yet. Maybe by the end of the year, maybe early next year. But right now, even within the next month or two, I don't see it. I don't see it. There was a slight video package before the IWGP World Title match, which was Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness, showing Nigel McGuinness in the streets of London, meeting up with wrestling legend Johnny Saint. They played chess, and he gave him some pointers about technical wrestling and being a world champion and this, that, and whatnot. McGuinness got the checkmate, while Saint says, now you're ready to go through the Forbidden Door. And we didn't get Oasis for his entrance, unfortunately. No Oasis for McGuinness. I think they spent all their money budget on Mbop for the Young Bucks. Mbop. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think they spent their monthly let's get a licensed song budget on Mbop. Anyways, Walker Stewart brought up Sabre being a former G1 Climax winner. And Excalibur congratulated this year's winner, AEW's own Konosuke Takeshita. And I'm like, why is Takeshita not on this show? That's the first time I'm going, wait, Takeshita's not on this show. Oh, why is Takeshita not on this show? This man works for both companies, just won their biggest tournament of the year, just earned himself a title shot at their biggest show, and he's not on this show. Are you kidding me? Big loss, or big miss, I should say. Anyways, there was some good mat work early on between both guys, as both, also remember Dan Garcia at ringside. Both, and nothing happened there. Everyone thought that Dan Garcia was going to turn on Nigel. Nope. Even after the match, people thought he was going to turn on Nigel. He was like, oh, the match is over. Now he's going to turn on Nigel for losing. Nope. He got in the ring, kind of like got in Nigel's face, and then hugged him, and that was it. Anyways, Sabre zoned in on the arm/wrist of McGinnis. McGinnis got up and smirked before taking Sabre down. McGinnis snapped the arm, and Sabre was right there to respond, taking McGinnis down, snapping his neck with his foot, keeping his opponent down on the ground. McGinnis spun out of a front face lock, blocked a corner charge into a combo leading to a double down spot. At one point, both were trading just wild series of hard uppercuts and other kinds of shots, and Sabre comes up bleeding from the nose. There's a pin attempt here that only got a 2. They knock heads. Only McGinnis is able to deliver as he hit a big old comeback lariat. There's a ripcord lariat that took Sabre's head off for another near fall. There's a London Dungeon applied. Sabre floated over. McGinnis transitioned into a triangle choke. Garcia again pushed the ropes. So he's like kind of cheating for Nigel, but I don't know. He was scolded as McGinnis snapped Sabre's finger to get free. Commentary's like, oh, I think he broke Zack Sabre's finger. And Zack's going like this. And Danielson goes, no, if he can move the finger like that, he's fine. I'm like, come on, Brian. This guy was trying to grow some tension in this match, some drama. Oh my God, does he have a broken finger? And Brian goes, no, if he's bending it like that, he's fine. Fucking, he's calling this shit as a shoot. Brian Danielson's over here calling this as a fucking shoot. But anyways, they get to their feet. Both go for some pin attempts here, including a European clutch by Sabre for a 2. There's more pin attempts that led to Sabre catching McGinnis with a flash pin. 1, 2, 3, retain the title. So there you go. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. retains the belt. I had to sneeze there for a second. I was like, I'm going to get that mute button in time. I don't want to sneeze right into the mic. Post-match, McGinnis was upset. Sabre shook his hand and gave him the ring before showing respect to both Johnny Saint and somebody else that was with him. I didn't catch who it was. When Schiavone got into the ring, Daniel Garcia got into the ring. And you're like, oh my God, is this going to be where he turns up? No, they hugged. They hugged. And then Tony announced, hey, there's 18,992 of you here. That is a record. Most people ever inside the O2 for a wrestling show. WWE ain't going to like that one. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Next time WWE's in the O2, they're going to do whatever they can to get 19,000 people in there. They only need 8 more seats than what AEW ran. They're going to run the most minimalistic stage possible. So then, apparently, during the pre-show, Thekla and Queen Amanada have been brawling, and they brawled to the back from there was 8-woman tag, 6-woman tag, whatever it was. They brawled to the back, and apparently since the pre-show, they've just been fighting in the back. Like, nobody has stopped them. What the shit? For 2 hours, they've been just fighting each other. Well, this spills onto the ramp. And finally, the rest of the Triangle of Madness come out. And so it's Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla all fighting Queen Amanada. So then we get the big return of Jamie Hayter. This is cool. Jamie Hayter's back. Massive pop from the London crowd. And yeah, she helps take down the Triangle of Madness. It's still 2-on-3, but hey, it's better than 1-on-3. And Tekla eventually gets out of there. The others get out of there. And away we go. So looks like maybe Tekla and one of the other two against Jamie Hayter and Reno Inada coming up soon. Then we had a tag title match. And this from the get-go was just confusing as shit. Because originally it was announced as just a 3-way. The Hurt Syndicate defending against FTR and Brodito. Okay, fine. Either FTR's pinning Brodito or Brodito's pinning FTR. Maybe Hurt Syndicate retains. And then like yesterday, yesterday. I remember it was yesterday or Thursday. but a tweet gets sent out, probably Thursday actually. A tweet gets sent out, and it says an elimination match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And I go, oh, well, now Hurt Syndicate's really not losing, because that means they got to take a pin from somebody. But then they sent out another tweet today that didn't say elimination match, and the match was not set as to be elimination. At least I didn't hear Justin Roberts say anything about eliminations. Did he, chat? I didn't hear it. Because then I saw everybody on Twitter going after the match, oh, it was an elimination match. When was Hurt Syndicate eliminated? And someone had the nerve to go, oh, they said Hurt Syndicate was counted out. Counted out of what? They're fighting at ringside through a lot of this match. There was no count out. It's a fucking triple threat. Count out my fucking ass. What? Anybody out here trying to justify? No. Oh, you gotta. Fuck this. I hate the loyal AEW fans that will do anything to try and stick up for AEW booking. Like, it's nauseating. Nauseating. Just like in that main event. Well, the semi-main. The kind of main event. With Hangman putting MJF through the table. Ooh, it was a table that was already at ringside. We've seen that before. When, I think it was like an Eddie Kingston, Sammy Guevara thing. Where one of them put, I think it was Eddie Kingston put Sammy through a table. The ringside attendance table. The timekeeper table. And everyone's like, well, it was already there. Like, no, they moved it though. Like, anyways, like, it's fucking AEW. Just changing rules and changing steps and all that, and things don't matter when they're supposed to matter, and this, that, and whatnot. Anyways, it's a three-way, and early on, they try to make the Hurt Syndicate look really strong, and I'm liking this. Like, I thought for the majority of this, 3/4 of this match was really freaking good. Like, I thought these three teams worked very well together. I thought this match was going, I'm like, oh, this might be the best match of the night, until we got the goddamn run-in. So, early on, they're trying to make Hurt Syndicate look super strong. They got Bobby, who was at one point 2-on-1 from FTR, but then he takes them both down. Then you got Shelton over there, 2-on-1 from Brodito, but eventually he takes them both down. Hurt Syndicate standing tall early on, and I'm like, okay, I like this. Eventually they're going to get their comeuppance with 2-on-1, not 1-on-2. But okay, this is cool. Make them look strong now before eventually later when they actually got to start selling. Early on after this, everything kind of breaks down. Brodito managed to hurricane run off the barricade. As back inside, Brodito hit one on Harwood before a backslide for a 2. Lashley would tag in and cleaned house. And yes, it was. Everyone got tag in, including one on a stalling suplex on Harwood before staring down Bandito in the corner to make a tag. Benjamin starts no-selling chops from Harwood and then bealed him clear across the ring, just chucked him. Harwood avoided a suplex city by tagging in Bandito, who sent Benjamin packing outside, where he was met with a Tobe Suicida. Bandito tried another, but Benjamin quickly was back inside the ring and mowed him down and tagged in Bobby, who hit a spinning slam. Bandito continued being worked over by the Syndicate for a very long time, actually, before getting the chance to tag in one of the FTR. Bandito finally did hit a tornado on Benjamin, as King made a hot tag as well, who railed FTR. Harwood then made the legal tag. There's a boss man slam that planted Wheeler, as King popped Lashley and Benjamin off the apron before squashing FTR in the corner with a splashing cannonball. At one point, Lashley and Benjamin were in control, I guess you can say, and things were going awry. All of a sudden at ringside, we get these three guys wearing these New Japan tracksuits. So they got these like tracksuits on, these workout, whatever you want to call them, tracksuits, workout suits, whatever they're called. And on the back it says NJPW, and they're like blue and black or whatever. And like, who are these guys from New Japan? They got ski masks covering their face, so you can't see who they are and everything. And it's like, what is going on? And they're beating down the Hurt Syndicate all the way up the ramp. They're beating them halfway up the ramp. Then they kind of get up and they beat them down again all the way up the ramp. Stokely then takes a chair, slides it in the ring. Because if it's a three-way, I guess it's no disqualification. And all of a sudden, we go look back up there at the top of the ramp, and And these guys all turn around. They stand 3 abreast. And they grab the, woo, and it's Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. And you go, what? And Danielson with the logic of, whoa, wait. Did MJF pay them off to do this? Did MJF pay them off to take out Bobby Lashley because MVP said if MJF wins the world title, Lashley's coming for him? And then they just dropped it. We didn't hear anything else. Hurt Syndicate's just out, done, gone, no longer in this match. And I'm like, this is the dumbest freaking thing. Yeah, no, this is so stupid, so dumb. I hate it because you've now made Hurt Syndicate look weak. Whereas earlier they were fighting guys off 2-on-1. They can't fight guys off 2-on-3. There's only one extra guy. They were fighting off one extra guy by themselves earlier. Like, come on. Really? Rodito avoided a powerplex in the ring. Hit one of his own, though. Followed this up with the running monkey flip 450. Bandito then made the cover on Harwood and lost it during the first attempt. So there was a huge initial pop for the 3 count. Then it all had to get redone. Then there was where freaking, like, what was it? Brody King was pinning Harwood. Cash Wheeler goes to jump in and dive to stop the pin, but he's like 2 feet off. So then he goes to dive again, and Bandito pushes him away. I don't know what the hell happened here, but this was a shitty finish. From the time Ricochet and his guys come out to beat down the Hurt Syndicate till the end of this match, it fucking sucked. It freaking sucked. But the first 3 quarters of this match were freaking great. I thought it was god dang good. So I don't know what the hell happened towards the end, but it just jumped the shark. So then we had, probably in my opinion, the best actual overall match of the night. I can see some saying the cage match was better because you love that kind of stuff, whatever. But as far as just a straight up match, 1-on-1, here we go. This was the best one. Okada Swerve was great. Okada Swerve worked their asses off. They had Jim Ross on commentary, who didn't quite have his sea legs under him at the beginning because he was kind of stumbling over his own words. Then eventually came into it. But yeah, Donna also joined commentary, and they said, you know, continental rules apply, which means only a 20-minute time limit. And if anybody tries to get involved, well, you're fired. Which means Don can sit at commentary, but Don can't in any way or form try to get involved. Hence why Prince Nana stayed in the back. The story in the match early on was, well, Okada knows about the knee. Okada knows that Swerve's got a messed up meniscus, and he's targeting it. He's targeting Mr. Terrific. Yes, Swerve dressed as Mr. Terrific from the Superman movie. I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was cool. I love when wrestlers cosplay. It's always so much fun. Still one of my favorite is freaking Alexa Bliss, Buzz Lightyear. Still one of my favorite. And I'm out of drink. But where was I? So early on, Strickland hit a pump kick on the apron and a backflip over the top onto Okada, but was shaking the bag leg. Back inside the ring, Strickland kept Okada grounded until Strickland was slingshot to the outside, tried to land on his feet, and his leg buckled, so Okada followed us up with the baseball slide. Okada delivered a brutal DDT on the steps and spiked Strickland, who now has neck issues. Strickland then tried a rolling flatliner, but Okada countered into an air raid crash onto the knee. Ever resilient, though, Strickland battled back and did manage to connect with a rolling flatliner for a suplex to regain control. There's an avalanche angle slam by Strickland, who came up clutching his neck as the delay allowed an Okada kick out. Strickland missed a swerve stomp on the apron to the floor, and he came up limping. Okada answered this up with a big old tombstone. Back inside the ring, there's a short arm lariat from Okada, who tried a rainmaker, but Strickland countered into a huge house call. Strickland got a series of short arm lariats here, wanting to go for another house call. Okada saw it coming and hit him with a drop kick. At one point, Swerve delivered a swerve stomp, but at what cost, though? Because he came up clutching the bad leg. Okada rolled out onto the apron before basically Swerve can take the advantage of hitting the swerve stomp. He then cut off Strickland in the corner and hit a knee breaker on the top turnbuckle. Both then missed their home run shots until Strickland managed to fire off a desperation house call. But why'd you go for one more? And Okada ducked it, hit the rainmaker, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. There we go. So Okada does retain the unified title. The match is over, and, Strickland's playing up the knee. He's hurt. He needs it looked at. And he gets it all beat up. Okada smashes it with a chair. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Why is Okada smashing his leg with a chair? This makes no sense. And so he smashed it. I think it was it against the ring steps with the chair? I didn't write it down. I just said he used the chair to smash the knee. I think it was against the ring steps. Anyways. So Okada and Callis are now celebrating together. Prince Nana runs down to check on Swerve. And a man jumps in the ring. And it's the returning Wardlow. Wardlow gets a huge reaction from the live crowd. Until we realize that he's a heel aligned with Don Callis. Oh, fuck this. Oh, fuck this. So he comes and he squashes Nana. And Swerve's knee is so bad that he can't get up. He's got to sit there and watch the security try to pull Wardlow back. Takes one security down. He takes another security down. He hits somebody with an F5. And Danielson says, oh, this must have been Don's insurance policy in case Okada needed help. So it's not like he ain't got a bunch of other guys who could have been the insurance policy. You got freaking Lance Archer and Josh Alexander doing God knows what in the back. What are they in there? Are they back there playing dominoes? Playing bones? No, you need freaking Michael Wardlow. You got Takeshita back there who could have helped if need be. But no. You gotta get this new guy because Wardlow is now here, the newest member of the Don Callis family, so we assume. And if this is what it is, I'm gonna tell you right now, perception-wise, this is from the outside looking in. It looks like Tony Khan likes Wardlow because he's a monster type, but he doesn't like him enough to actually push him strong because he is 90% of the time somebody's lackey, somebody's muscle, somebody's you do my dirty work. He did it for years for MJF. Now he's going to do it for goddamn Don. I've seen everyone go, oh, you're wrong. He's in this group, so then he can join up with two of the other guys, and maybe they go for the trios titles. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put him in there to go for the trios titles. You don't think they got enough guys already in that group that they can go for the trios titles? You think they need another guy just so they can go? No, they got 3 guys. Technically 4 if you count Brian Cage is out injured without a belt. So if they need to go for the trios titles, they've already got enough guys to go for the trios titles. So don't try to justify this, you stupid ass AEW fans. Again, AEW fans are always trying to justify, always trying to make things make sense when they don't, or say, yeah, this is the greatest booking ever. Of course, Wardlow's going to be with Don. He's a great heel. Might be a great heel, but he could also be a great babyface. I'll see a lot of people go, well, he was TNT champion. He failed miserably. Couldn't cut a promo. I thought he was okay, but here's the thing. Yeah, couldn't cut a promo because they never let him talk, and he doesn't have practice. You can't get good at cutting promos if they never book you to cut a promo. If you're always just standing behind MJF while he's cutting the fucking promo, now Don, of course you're not going to be a good promo because A, you're not going to promo class. You're not getting training on how to cut promos like they do in WWE. You're at the PC. You're doing promo class. You're doing all this other stuff, ancillary work. No! In AEW, guys are not progressing and not getting better at certain things because they're not getting the opportunities to practice and do those certain things, to learn how to do those certain things. It's one thing, cut a promo just in your room, practicing in front of the mirror or in the back with the guys just for the shits of it. It's another thing to cut it in front of a live crowd and know how to react to that live crowd while you're cutting your promo. We saw Logan Paul do it phenomenally on Friday. The crowd was chanting, fuck you, Logan. So he turned to them and go, hey, you know you're saying this to me, but in the back, they're probably muting you right now, so they can't hear you what you're saying anyways. Now they can't hear me. Like, that was amazing. And that's because Logan's been doing this for 4 years, and they let him cut promos. They let him learn in live aspect scenarios. Wardlow. You don't cut no promos. We've rarely, if ever, heard Wardlow cut promos. It's far and few between when Wardlow cuts a promo. He's just the guy that comes in there. He's fucking no different than Megan Bain Everyone bitches and moans, and I have myself. We don't know what Megan Bayne is. She's got no character. She's got no charisma. She just goes in there. That's Wardlow. Of course, you're not going to be a good promo if they never book you to cut promos. Just saying. Then we had the AEW Women's World Championship on the line. Timeless Toni Storm defending against Athena. This good match. Athena had to take the loss, but good match nonetheless. I like this match. It was an early baseball slide that sent Athena crashing into the dasher boards. Starks got in Storm's face and suffered a quick Storm Zero for the result. Athena then flew in with a shotgun dropkick, causing Storm to hit the dasher boards. It was all Athena from this point on for a little while. She drove Storm's head repeatedly into the post. There's a cravat applied back inside the ring, and there was a lot of posturing and posing from Athena, and she was getting a little too cocky early on. She countered a corner head scissors into a Cazadora facebuster and right into the buckle. Athena mocked Toni Storm with her pose, giving Storm time to regroup and hit a fisherman suplex with a nice bridge. There's a leg sweep and a big boot and a neck breaker and a butterfly suplex combo from Athena, who continues to pose. She kept doing the Toni pose and kept doing that thing. Storm at one point dodged an O-face into a pop-up slam. She went for the TCM chicken wing and countered into a backdrop driver by Athena. Storm then responded with a tornado DDT and a tiger driver for a 2. They had a little strike battle here as they were getting to their feet. Storm switched things up with some Mongolian chops until Athena hit a kip-up thrust kick and a home run right elbow to take control. At one point, Athena hit a flying boot and a corner Hurricane Rana, holding on into a Liger Bomb for a 2. Athena sank in a Koji clutch, but Storm got to the ropes to break the hold. They fall to the outside. They're fighting out there, and Athena was slammed onto the LED barricade, which hilariously turned back on, because earlier when Toni was thrown into it, it turned off. Then they threw somebody back into it. Athena this time, it popped back on. That was funny. Back inside the ring, Storm fired off a headbutt and got a Storm Zero for a 2. Athena clawed at the ring skirt, so when both ladies were on the apron, Starks pulled at the skirt and distracted Storm long enough for Athena to hit an O-face across the ropes. Starks was about to, maybe, I guess you would say, use a chair. I don't know what she was thinking. Would have got Athena disqualified. Mina Shirakawa, though, run out and stop her. She chased her off with the chair. I thought this was great. Like, Billy's like this with the chair. Mina grabs it from behind her. She's like, oh, you want to use the chair? Nuh-uh, nuh-uh. She's like, I'm going to hit you with the chair. And Billy goes, no. And she goes to run off. And Mina's just chasing her like this with the chair. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I thought it was funny, which then led to the finish of the match. It was a big package for a 2. Athena rolled out of the ring, fired off an uppercut, tried to go for a no-face, but leapt right into the clutches of a TCM chicken wing. And ultimately, the ROH Women's Champion, the Forever Champion, as she likes to call herself, tapped out the timeless one, Toni Storm. There we go. Toni Storm retains the Women's World title. Then we go from the Women's World title to the AEW World Championship with MJF challenging Hangman Page. Well, this goddamn match, where do I start? I guess just the way the match started. I'll just go in order. I'm not going to rant and rave about certain spots till we get to those certain spots. So MJF stalls early on. He's mocking the crowd. No, actually, early on. Here we go. They call MJF the CMLL World Champion. Technically, and I know that people are going to go, oh, you're bitching to bitch. There is no CMLL World Championship. There's a CMLL World Heavyweight Championship and a CMLL World Lightweight Championship and a CMLL World Middleweight Championship and a CMLL World Lightweight Championship. But you say CMLL World Championship, think you're the top champion. You're not. Gran Guerrero is the real top champion in CMLL. It's a CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. So, why are they doing this with MJF? I'm the world champion of CMLL. Technically, no, you're not. You're their you're their TNT champion. You're their unified champion. You're not their world champion. Anyways. But early on, MJF stalled and mocked the crowd. Page was relentless on his attack. Commentary reminding us that the title can change on a disqualification or a count out. Page needs to be careful. Danielson pleaded with referee Bryce Remsburg that he should show some leniency when it comes to Hangman in this match. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That right there just told us someone's using a weapon and not getting DQ'd. And that's what happened. Page clotheslined MJF over the barricade into the front row. Then again with a big boot. Page grabbed a chair, but that's when referee was like, no, and he goes over and he grabs the chair in the arm of Hangman. He's like, don't do it. Hangman, you know I'll have to disqualify you. Don't use the chair. And Hangman's like, yeah, you're right. And he drops the chair or whatever. But this allowed MJF to post Page. MJF remained in control back in the ring, faking a knee injury off of a springboard, but it just suckered Page into a snap pile driver for a 2. Biting away at Page in the corner, MJF kept mocking Page, who responded with the same mockery of his own that got a big reaction from the crowd before delivering a huge flying lariat off the top. There's a hammer throw reversed into a fall-away slam as MJF was sent over the top by Page, who followed this up with an Orihari moonsault. Page wanted a buckshot, but MJF cut him off, tried to go for the heat seeker, and Page avoided. Tried for the buckshot, only to fall right into a salt of the earth. Page eventually did roll out into a pinning attempt. He led into a crossface, but MJF escaped into a sleeper. Page again rolled out onto the apron, but MJF hit an impressive slingshot cutter and a hammerlock DDT for a 2. MJF set aside his casino gauntlet contract and placed the ring attendance table, well, over on the other side of the ring. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I saw Bryce earlier, the referee, Bryce Remsburg, tell Hangman, hey, you used the chair, I'm going to have to disqualify you. But this table doesn't count. This table doesn't matter. You can use this goddamn table and just fucking no disqualification. He's literally sitting there just watching MJF with his big ass table in hand, just carrying it. Already legs out and everything, just carrying it all the way to the other side of the ring and then putting it down. Not saying a word. Don't use that. You can't do that. No. And I saw the stupid freaking people online. Well, it was already set up at ringside, so just like the announce table. No, not just like the announce table. Because just like the announce table would mean I don't even have the energy to fight and bitch and moan, because it's just the stupidest fucking people online that will argue anything in AEW's favor, you know, make them look good. But this was dumber than dog shit. How are you going to say this is not a DQ? How are you going to say that they can use this table? It's fine. Now, I get it if it's the announce table, because the announce table is a solid thing that stays there and doesn't move. Whatever. It's already set up at ringside, but it doesn't move. You don't move it. It's like the ring steps. You throw somebody into the ring steps while they're still sitting there. Okay. But once the ring steps are moved and you pick them up, that's when the ref's going to say, don't use those ring steps. Am I wrong? Maybe not in AEW. I don't know. They don't do this that often. I know in WWE they do. Like if you throw someone into the ring steps, you throw someone into the ring steps, whatever. But once you pick up the ring steps, that's when the ref starts yelling at you, you can't do that, I'll disqualify you. But here, he literally picks up this table, goes around the little barricade thing out of the timekeeper's area, walks down one side of the ring, down to the other side of the ring, over on the ramp, and puts the table down. And this referee doesn't say a GD word. Doesn't say nothing to him. Just watches. It's the dumbest, stupidest stuff ever. And AEW has always been so inconsistent with the rules that when you put a rule and stip on this match where DQ can cause the champ to lose his title, I thought there was only one thing that this was going to lead to. I thought there was one thing that was going to happen here that would have made all of this make sense and me not rant or say anything, bullshit, anything. I thought what was going to happen was MJF was going to set the table up over there and find some way to have like Hangman knock him off the apron or off the top rope. He goes through the table and then says, he put me through it. He pushed me and I fell through it because he sent me through it. I thought that's what was going to happen. And there was going to be some stupid way where he wins the belt that way, or at least tries to. That's not what happened. It wasn't the heel trying to trick the babyface into using the weapon and getting himself disqualified. No. It was the heel bringing the table over there so the babyface can then set it up and use it and not get disqualified. How is it not a DQ? It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So, anyways, this table's there. Hangman does like an acai moonsault off the ropes to MJF on the floor. MJF catches him. They're fighting. They get back up on the apron. MJF then gets taken down, grabbed by Page. He's got him in for a deadeye. put a dead eye through the table. And it's not a DQ. It's not a DQ. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Puts him through the goddamn table. And it's not a DQ. So they're fighting on the outside. MJF gets Hangman in a tombstone position, runs over and basically tombstones him on this broken table. That ain't DQ either. It's just whatever. Everybody in AEW should now use a table in their match because Bryce Remsburger's told us it's not a DQ. I won't DQ you. Referees won't DQ you for putting someone through a table. So MJF flies into the ring. Refs counting 7, 8, and Hangman's barely stirring. 9. Hangman finally jumps in at 10, and it's like, hold on. You put MJF through a table, and he was up within seconds. You dead-eyed him through the table, head first through the table. But MJF just kind of like smacks the back of your head against a broken part of the table, which looks like you barely even touched it, and you're down, almost getting counted out. Yeah, this was dumb. This was dumb. Anyways, where was I? MJF knew Page wanted to go for a buckshot at one point, so he took a powder and seated at ringside. Page got a running start, but MJF hit a drop toe hold to the chair that was at ringside as well. I didn't know DQ. It was busting Page wide open. Page's bleeding here. MJF slammed Page into the steps before screaming to Danielson, "He just like you, he effing sucks." And they're like, "Sorry for the language there, folks." Danielson said that he'd love to get in there and punch him, but he knows that it's what MJF would want. He's goading me to attack him to get Page disqualified and him win the belt. So I'm not going to play into his games. Danielson's smart here. MJF then picked up Page and slammed him down. Oh, this is when they go for the table spot. My bad. I was a little ahead of myself. This is when MJF puts him through the table. Then he's laying there, or hits him against the table, I guess you would say. Laying there, barely gets back into the ring at 10. I was a little overzealous, got ahead of myself there. MJF pulls the buckle pad off the top rope, tries to slam Page into it, gets reversed. He goes face first into it. He's now bleeding. Crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it," because he's bleeding. At this point, I'm just like so over this match. They're slugging it out. And boom, da boom, da boom, da boom. They're trading shots and everything here and there and whatnot. There's a jackknife pin. And then so the referee's like, 1, 2. I think this is, hold on, no. Yeah, jackknife pin, jackknife cover, bridge, whatever. They're just fighting. And it's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. They're just like flopping each other back over. And the ref's trying to count and not count and count. And he can't count fast enough. And I'm just like, yep, I'm done with this match. Then it gets even worse. Freaking, he puts on the dynamite diamond ring, right? He goes like this, like he's going to use it, and Bryce grabs the hand. "No, you can't use that." And he pulls the ring right off of MJF's hand. MJF then spits in Page's face and yelled at Page to use the ring. Oh, no. So before I'm getting ahead of myself again. Anyways, they're fighting. The ring gets taken away by the referee. And Bryce is in the way for a buckshot. MJF shoves them into one another, hits a low blow and a heat seeker, goes for the pin on Page. And so the ref's got enough wherewithal here. Yes, he got bumped in by Hangman, whatever, he fell down, whatever. But he's got enough wherewithal where MJF goes for the pin and he counts 1, 2, 3. I'm asleep, I'm dead. Legit. I'm not fucking just like this. 1, 2, 3. I swear on my life, the dumbest thing ever. Because as he's counting 3, looking the opposite way, Hangman's boot, just like in the Mark Briscoe match, Hangman's boot goes on that bottom rope. JF doesn't see it. The ref doesn't see it. But the bell doesn't ring. Because the ref didn't signal for it, even though we got the 1, 2, 3. Because the ref fucking passes out. Dies, goes to sleep. So stupid. Dumb. Then Reach for the sky, boy. Out comes goddamn Mark Briscoe. He runs down to the ring. The referee's still out. Hangman's still laying there, but his foot's up on the rope. MJF finally realizes all of this as he's watching Mark Briscoe try to come down as security's trying to hold Briscoe back. Briscoe never actually Briscoe, did he ever get into the ring? I don't think he did. But MJF turns around, sees the foot there. This is, again, the fucking dumbest. MJF sees the foot there, right? Hangman's leg is laying there. Bryce Remsburg is literally laying on the ground. Hold on. Hangman, okay? Hangman. Actually, no, work better with this. Say, Hangman, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson is MJF, Nick Jackson is the damn Bryce Remsburg. So, Hangman's laying there, his foot up on the ropes, right? We'll see if we can do this. Foot up on the ropes. So his foot, I don't know if I can do this. Up here on the ropes, MJF needs to run in and get the foot off the ropes, right? So as MJF, sit there, don't move. Sit there, don't move. I know this is dumb, but whatever. You guys all just watch this show together. So as MJF, the referee again, is laying this way. His head is looking the opposite direction. MJF is here and goes, his foot's on the rope. I need to, boom. Referee runs in and stops him. I saw that. Are you fucking kidding me? This ref is laying here motionless, looking the other way. The moment MJF starts to turn to go move the foot, fuck this match. I see people over here, match of the year contender. What? In the Razzie Awards? Worst match of the fucking year? Like, this is the dumbest stuff. The ref's literally dead, laying the opposite way. Didn't see the foot, not looking that direction. All of a sudden, MJF sees the foot, so the ref's going to go, you can't move his foot. I'm not calling the 3. It's the dumbest stuff I've seen in forever. This is worse than Kaintai. I choppy UBB. I choppy BB. This is worse than that. Anyways. So Bryce shoves him over and says, no, the match is still going. This match will continue. They both shove one another. Page then is up. All of a sudden hits a lariat MJF through a low blow because the ref didn't see it. Rolls him up, gets a 2. MJF then threw the AEW World title in the ring, and Bryce Remsburg took it from him. Allowed MJF to hit Page with the contract, the casino contract. Page, though, kicks out at 2. MJF then went back for the Dynamite Diamond ring and was about to use it. Oh, this is when the ref removed it from him. So earlier, he was telling Hangman to use it. I got these two spots mixed up. Earlier, he was telling Hangman to use it, but the ref never took it. Ref takes it this time. The ref's got the ring in his hand. He goes to hand it to whoever's at ringside. He's like, hey, we're not using this. He takes it from him, goes in. So fucking Hangman then takes the contract and just boom, waffles MJF over the head with this contract. Just murders him. Hits him with a Deadeye, hits him with a buckshot, pins him 1, 2, 3. Crowd exploded, of course, because the Hangman beat MJF. Hangman then stands over MJF with the belt. He then takes the contract. Goes, Max, you still got this. And there we go. He leaves. He celebrates on the ramp. MJF's laying there with his contract clutched in his arms. And this match was the fucking dumbest world title match I think I've ever seen. One of. This sucked. If we're giving this a star rating out of 5 stars, 2 stars. 2 stars. 2 stars, Hangman. So then, it's time for the main event. And they tell us, Jim Ross is going to rejoin us for commentary for this main event, the lights out steel cage match. But Brian, you got something you want to say? And Brian goes, yeah, I thought about it. And I'm a little too close to this upcoming match. So just for personal reasons, I'm going to remove myself and I'm not going to be out here for commentary. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Okay. You were biased in other matches, so what does it matter? It's not like you're not gonna be. Anyways, I thought this was leading to Brian coming back out later and getting involved because we saw him get involved. Because at first you would think, oh, he can't get involved, he's hurt, and blah, blah, blah. But he got involved and all in. So I would assume he's gonna get involved again. Nope. But before we do anything else and talk about this main event that, oh my God, made me go, I can't look. Let's hear from our sponsors. Does the summer heat got you sweating through your shirt before noon? Maybe it's time to chill with an AECOOLY handheld fan. This pocket-sized powerhouse is your secret weapon against scorching temps. Whether catching rays listening to music or just looking to get a great tan, it brings the breeze right when you need it. With 3-speed settings, a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 10 hours, and a whisper-quiet motor, the AECOOLY fan delivers cool comfort without the buzz or bulk. Toss it in your bag, clip it to your desk, or have it right by your side at all times. It's compact, stylish, and oh so convenient. So why melt when you can breeze through summer? Use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/AECOOLY. That's AECOOLY now for cooling in the palm of your hand. All right. As far as this match does go, the 10-man steel cage match, and kudos on them. They made a big cage. It's got a ringside area, and I'm like, okay, this match could be good. I think for what it was, for being a quote-unquote death match, cage match-ish type of match, really couldn't have been much better, couldn't have been much worse. I thought this was a fun match, a lot of freaking violence. Maybe not as much as I expected, but a very, very violent spot that made a lot of people go, oh, I can't look. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that. But regardless, though, the thing that got me in this match, and I said it in the lead up to this, what are the rules for this cage match? Is everybody locked in? Can you leave? Can you get out? What is the rules? And all it was first pinfall or submission wins. Yeah, we saw Moxley on the outside, just on the outside. So you could be on the outside of the cage and it don't matter. That's what I hate the wrestling companies do. And there's all wrestling companies have done this. We've seen it in WWE. We've seen it in AEW, New Japan. They let you go out of the cage. In WWE, not as much, because WWE and Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is supposed to be, you're locked in. You're in this because you're locked in. They're containing you. And then fucking you're climbing the cage halfway through the match because it doesn't matter. Anyways. It was Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on the team of Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, with Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir at ringside, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks. So a video plays before the match starts for Will Ospreay, and it is narrated by his partner, Alex Windsor. And this sounds like the freaking... Like you're watching this video and listening to what Alex is saying, and it's like, Will's retiring. This literally is a video you would play for somebody's final match. She's over here talking about his career. She's over here talking about, you know, whatever's next, I'm behind you. The next path you take in your career, I am with you. I accept the choices that you make. You know, I'm here for you, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, you're over here talking like this man is retiring, never to wrestle again. Commentary multiple times throughout this match over here going, you know, we don't know what's next for Will Ospreay after tonight. Is this the last time he ever works in front of a London crowd? Is this the last time we see him in an AEW ring? We just don't know what the future holds for Will Ospreay. And I'm like, ugh. And Ospreay even did an interview, I think it was with Sports Illustrated, and was talking about, you know, I'm going to have to tone it down, get neck surgery, and not do all these high-flying stuff anymore. I'm not going to be the same Will Ospreay, potentially, going forward. As far as this match does go, my notes are kind of sporadic because this match is very sporadic. And so it's like, I got some notes, but a lot of was going on. So if I missed anything, I do apologize. So we're going to recap this as well as possible. Early on, there's a lot of just everyone just going at each other. Basically, the baby faces are all in the ring. The heels all come down, get ready. Gabe Kidd's first one to just jump. He's like, I'm going. Right in the ring. He takes the fight. Heels follow. Bucks and Castagnoli are in as well. Moxley comes in, leads to a big chop battle with Ospreay and Gabe Kidd. There's a wall walk enziguri from Ospreay. We follow this up with a Sasuke special. Moxley and Castagnoli threw Allen aside, who met both with a springboard coffin splash and a wild sprinting dive through the ropes. The Bucks and Golden Lovers were going at it. Huge pop for this fight as Omega and Ospreay fire off dueling snap hurricane ranas, double golden triangle moonsaults on the Bucks to the outside. Allen is now handcuffed to Moxley all of a sudden out of nowhere. Where the hell did this come from? I don't know. Guess Claudio helped him do it. What the commentary said. There's a code red on Castagnoli, forcing Moxley to take the bump as well in the process as they were separated, while Omega tried a you can't escape on Cage with a trash can, but missed a moonsault. The Bucks then planted Ibushi with an assisted sliced bread and screamed that this is what they do. Also, they got one of their shitty jabber entrances. You know, in theory, in retrospect, it's supposed to be, oh, you're not the EVPs anymore, so you don't have your fancy entrance. But in retrospect, they're taking more time and resources and energy to create all this new stupid stuff than just to give them the regular entrance and video. To be completely honest. Like last night on Collision, their lower third said Rod and Todd. Nick grabbed a bag of... So earlier in the show, they went to this production guy and go, hey, we got a bag here. We want you to put the deadliest things you could think. Thumbtacks. What did he say? Thumbtacks. Nails. Any glass. Put it all in this bag. Put it under the ring. We need it for later. They literally told the guy, there was no way to misconstrue this. There was no way to misconstrue this. Because, yes, with the one where Justin Roberts read the note where they're like, tell him to read it verbatim and follow the rules. Well, he read it verbatim. Okay, that one made sense. This one, they literally said, get the deadliest things you could find. The most violent things you can find. And they gave examples. Friggin' nails, glass, thumbtacks, and put them in this bag. And what did they do? They put goddamn gummy bears in the bag. Gummy bears. Now, what would have been funny here is if they said Legos to the guy. And he put those gummy Legos. Hey, technically, they're still Legos. That would have been funny. I would have chuckled. This, dumb as shit. Dumb as shit. Omega tried to drop toe hold on the gummy bears as Matt fought it off for his dear life until Tanahashi hit a bulldog into the bears. Omega forced gummy bears into the mouth of Matt and hit him in the face. Cool. Yeah. Castagnoli brought a ladder into the ring and launched Ospreay off the ladder into the cage, busting him wide open badly, like Ospreay was bleeding good. The Bucks then sent Allen crashing onto the setup ladder with a power bomb. Allen's ear is now bleeding here. He's literally bleeding from the ear. I'm like, uh-oh. And the Bucks hit an assisted swanton on the ladder. The Bucks then tried to take Ospreay out with a ladder, and he kipped up out of it or whatever, handspraying Pele kick, sending the ladder crashing into Matt and Nick. Moxley returns to the chair, but Ospreay ducked and tried to pulmonize Moxley's neck, only for Kidd to make the save, spiking Ospreay with a gotch pile driver, leaving Ospreay clutching the hurt neck. Kidd then draped Omega over the top rope, and the Bucks hit a double stomp, a bounce back power bomb. There's a giant swing by Claudio on Nick at one point, and the Bucks go for a TK driver, but Darby broke the count after they went for the pin. Claudio pressed Darby over his head and launched him like a lawn dart into the cage. Tanahashi was left to the ring alone, and he stood his ground, sidestepping the Bucks, dishing out a twist and shout to Claudio until Moxley cut him off with a paradigm shift. Barbed wire table was then brought into the ring. No, wait, I'm missing the whole thing here. I'm missing the Darby spot. Darby fork spot. My notes are a little off here. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. There it is. So Moxley then cut off Tanahashi with the paradigm shift. Moxley then put Darby on a chair and duct taped him. Him and Claudio duct taped him to this chair. So he's just sitting here in this chair like this, right? And Darby's sitting there, and Mox grabs a fork. And he like swirls around in his hand. He's like, I'm gonna get you now. I'm gonna get you. I'm like, okay. He's gonna fork him in the head. No, he doesn't fork him in the fucking head. He takes the fork. I got a fork for my lunch. He takes a fork and he starts just jamming it into the earlobe of Darby, just jamming it in and then jamming it. He's going up this way and down the top, and he's going from the back. I'm like, he's gonna pierce this guy's ear with a fork, isn't he? He's gonna try and pierce this guy's ear with a fork, and like just got blood just gushing out of this ear, and he's got the fork like trying to go through the, and I'm just like, no, can't look, and okay, like what the shit. And Darby's still just going like this, not really selling anything, just sitting there tied to the chair, like just taking it. Claudio then tries to kill Darby. Like this was a dumb bump to take, dumb bump. He picks up Darby, duct taped to the chair, Darby chair and all, picks it up, slams the chair down with Darby on it. That had to frickin' suck to take. And he's now laying there, blood just coming out. Like, no. Barbed wire table was then brought into the ring and put into the corner. At one point, the Bucks tried to whip Tanahashi into it, and he does the worst. I'm going to avoid not running into it. The whole, oh, I stopped before it kind of thing, where he wasn't even running into it anyways. He was barely briskly walking. Moxley then comes at him, and so he kind of sidesteps and just pushes Moxley head first into the table. There's a sling blade delivered to Kid and Moxley, with Claudio nearly cut Tanahashi off with a neutralizer. Well, the Bucks hit a BTE trigger, but Ospreay, who was emotionless for ever, laying around doing nothing, broke the count. Ospreay covered and protected Tanahashi as Moxley pulled him up by his neck. And they're talking like Tanahashi can't do nothing. Tanahashi's dead. And Ospreay, was over here. And he's like, Ospreay is protecting Tanahashi. If he needs to protect Tanahashi because Ospreay is so messed up and beat up and banged up, why would he ask him to be in this match? It makes no sense. Anyways, we keep going. Moxley then pulls him up by his neck. Wanted a Death Rider, but Ospreay tackled him through the barbed wire. Ospreay then tackled him through the barbed wire. Omega then returned with a Snapdragon until the Golden Lovers hit stereo ones Moxley and Matt. Ibushi just got enough of it and enough of a slingshot plancha before ramping the crowd up for Omega, who hit a Terminator dive. And hilariously, the camera cut to Maria Shafir. She's just like, "Fuck you, Kenny." I'm just laughing so hard because she said just like that. Like, "Fuck you, Kenny." So Tanahashi starts climbing this ladder, and I'm like, what is he doing? He wanted to go to the top of the cage. Tanahashi. I'm like, this guy's going to hit a high fly flow off the top of the cage. But all his teammates are like, no, don't do it. You're too old. I laughed so hard. Ospreay did it instead. Went up there, big ass moonsault on the pile. I'm like, you should have just let him do it. They're going to catch him anyways. It's a high fly flow. He's going to be fully extended. Whatever. He does one off the top rope later anyways. Kid was left with tunnel vision on Omega in the ring, and they pick each other apart. Just like they did at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year. Things break down. It's just violent. They're just fighting. Not really that violent, but it's just like hard, stiff shots. They go over their signature moves and everything, including Allen with a death drop on Moxley. Ospreay wall walked again into a super kick. Ultimately took both Bucks out with a hidden blade. Ospreay then pushed Omega out of the way of a charging Gabe Kidd and laid Kidd out with a Styles Clash before delivering a hidden blade V-trigger combo for a 2. Nick hit a scary springboard DDT on Ibushi on the apron as Ospreay flew in with an Os Cutter on the apron on Matt, with Allen hitting a coffin drop as well. Omega and Moxley were left staggering to slug it out in the ring, with Omega connecting with the V-trigger and a one-winged angel, but the pin was broken up. Allen and Moxley then fought on the top of the cage, but Yuta made the save, allowing Moxley to get away. Yuta was left falling from the top of the cage through 2 of the Japanese-style tables. Yeah, these are the thicker ones, just like they used for the Moxley or the Hangman match earlier. I forgot to mention that. They're the Japanese-style tables. They're the stiffer, hard, not gimmicked tables. Allen and Moxley fought around the cage, and I'm like, Barbie just got right fucking back up. This guy ain't real. This guy ain't human. Darby's not human. Anyways, where was I? Allen and Moxley fought around the cage. So they're just fighting outside the cage, and it doesn't even matter. And he placed Moxley between the setup and the tables. Shafir then made the save with Allen perched at the top of the cage. Kid then climbed up the ladder, hit a low blow, joining Allen up there. Kid then had a sleeper. Allen raked the eyes, and they crashed down through these tables on the outside. Where was I? Later on in the match, everyone's fighting in the ring. You got Darby dead, Gabe Kidd dead, Moxley's out there with Marina. Marina's all holding him like, I got you, you're safe now. Darby's dead. And there was an incredible hidden blade, one-winged angel by Ospreay Omega on Matt as Tanahashi climbs to the top rope, hits a high fly flow, and wins the match. So there we go. The baby faces pick up the victory. Ospreay, Omega, Ibushi, and Tanahashi all stand tall and celebrate in the ring as Allen was being checked on, but getting up and standing up at ringside. So the Golden Lovers help Tanahashi to his feet. They all celebrate. Tanahashi looks at Will and tells Will, take the ring. So Will's in the ring by himself. Eventually his music plays, and then we get the thing on the bottom of the screen that tells you the show is over and everything. And we're hearing dun 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 dun. I don't know the words of Ospreay's music, but Ospreay's music's playing, and he's like to the crowd, you know, do his little hand signal thing, and they're loving it. They're like, Will Ospreay, and the commentary's over here. We don't know what's next for Will Ospreay. We know Will Ospreay needs to get help. We know Ospreay is hurting. That neck is not in good shape. So whatever is next for Will Ospreay, we will let you guys know. And they're just playing it up like Ospreay's gone. Ospreay's leaving. We're not going to see Ospreay for a while. And all of a sudden, he gets out of the ring, and Claudio just runs in, and there's boom! Blindsides him. Moxley's there as well. They lock the door. Moxley hits repeated Death Riders, just boom, picks him up, boom, picks him up, boom, on Ospreay, just dropping him on his neck. As frickin' Kota Ibushi is fighting the door. I shit you not. I shit you not. They're beating up Ospreay in the ring. The door is chained shut, and Ibushi is punching the door, just boxing the door. Ibushi's over here boxing the door. I swear to God, Ibushi's boxing the door. You see the door just going like this. Going like this. Ibushi is boxing this door to try to get in as everybody else is out there just watching. I think Omega maybe tried to climb the cage at one point and they knocked him down, but it was funnier than shit. You see freaking Ibushi boxing the door. He's like, and the door is going back and forth, like moving. Like it's not like he's pretending. He's really punching this door. They get a steel chair, put it around Ospreay's neck. Boom! Hits one of them big ass stomps. Ospreay's dead. The ops run down. They try to help out. Eventually, they tell him, raise the cage, raise the cage, raise the cage. And so they all get chairs. You got Joe and Hobbs. They got chairs and everything. You go to jump in the ring. Death Rider's heels. They all bail, run off. So they're checking on Ospreay. And EMTs and medical come down, and everyone's in the ring. Kenny's right over Ospreay, looking at him. Hey, what do you need? I can help. Da da da. And you hear one of the EMTs going, "Please stop shaking the ring. Please stop moving the ring. Please stop shaking the canvas, like shaking the mat." Because they're like, one wrong move and he can be paralyzed. One wrong move and he can never wrestle again. He can never. His life be changed for. Like they're making you think that this man was almost just murdered, and they don't even know if he's still alive. And that you could paralyze him if you do it. Like, what? What? Like, if we didn't know. So here's the greatest example of this. All In. They do the spot. They Pillmanize the neck of Will Ospreay because he was supposed to take time off right after All In, but didn't agree to do this and whatever. But that, we didn't know Ospreay was so beat up that he needs neck surgery, but they do an injury angle. Same with Joe. They do one to Joe because he's got to go do press for Twisted Metal. Okay, cool. That's fine. But the fact that Ospreay, commentary, everybody all week has been talking about how Will Ospreay needs neck surgery. Will Ospreay's going to be gone for a while after tonight. Will Ospreay may not come back the same. Why do you need to do the injury angle when you've already told us that Will Ospreay is taking time off to go get neck surgery or potentially get neck surgery? That this guy needs to recoup and rehab his body. I felt like this was just overbooked and overdone and unnecessary, unneeded. There was no need for this. We're almost going to murder a guy angle at the end of the show. At a show that he said it was like 15 minutes from his house. So it's like in his hometown, in front of his home crowd. You're going to murder the man, basically. I don't know. Then it goes off the air, right? It fades to black. Then it comes back for a second, and they're trying to put a neck brace on him, and that's when you hear the one EMT, stop shaking the mat. Please stop moving the ring. And it's just like, when we know, and they've told us that they're leaving to take time off to go get healed, why do you do this? Why do you need to do an injury angle? Because if he is so bad with that neck, and granted, he worked the whole match and did the crazy stuff, but if his neck is so bad that he needs neck surgery to the point where his career could be over, maybe, I don't know. Why are you doing a spot where you're stomping on his neck? You do this whole match where his neck is protected, which I don't think, other than, I think maybe there was one Death Rider or a couple Death Riders he took that those could be gimmicked pretty well. I didn't see anything in this match where they played up the neck that much. Like that looked like could have been botched or messed up. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't see anything in this match. Like, they protected Will, it felt like, for the most part. But what if Moxley slipped just a little? Perfect example. Seth Rollins, the Royal Rumble, when he went and gave that stomp to Roman, he slipped and accidentally went both feet. What if something like that happened here and Moxley slipped and that chair went the wrong way and like came down on the neck wrong and he really did damage and messed up Ospreay? Just saying. But that was the show. Main event, crazy match. It was exactly what I expected. Did I hate it? No. Did I love it? No, because I'm not the biggest deathmatch kind of wrestler guy. But I thought it was a fun match to watch. Cool spots and things in that nature. So it's like, I liked it more than I didn't. So with all of that, as far as, you know what I thought of the poll? I thought it was just all right as far as the show does go. Now we're going to see what you guys thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite as we go and refresh all the polls really fast. Give me 2 seconds just to see. As far as these polls do go, for some reason my monitor came loose there for a second and started slanting. As far as the threads poll does go, 70% liked the show, 20% didn't like the show, and 10% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitter X poll does go, 48% liked the show, 32% thought it was just all right, and 19% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, 70% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, 16% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 73% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. As far as the Twitch poll does go, it's split 50-50. I liked it. It was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, tomorrow morning, early afternoon, we got the wrestling wrap-up. We will be reviewing NXT Heatwave. Then we got Monday Night Raw tomorrow, which is an early show. Raw starting early tomorrow on Netflix for everybody. Don't need a VPN to watch early or any of that. So just keep that in mind. Raw starts early tomorrow. With all of that, guys, have a great rest of your Sunday night. Have a great week upcoming. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.